Hello there, this is DBT and these are the rooms. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt 8. And today, I'm gonna be talking about the Chrome Marauder event for one last time. And that is because this event is about to end in a couple of days, and I thought this was the perfect moment to show you what I got throughout this event, what it cost me, and my overall thoughts on the format of it. But before I jump into it, if you enjoy my content, you know what to do. Hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, because when you do these things, you're telling YouTube this is worth recommending to more people, and in that way the channel can continue to grow and I can continue making this content for you. So if you want some more Asphalt 8 right here, go ahead, like and subscribe. But alright, Chrome Marauder, what's going on? What is the current state? Well, first of all, I've already made several, like 2 or 3 videos on this thing, showing you what progress I had managed to do. For example, you can see on the screen right now the Pagani Huayra 20th Asphalt Anniversary. Is that the full name? Jesus Christ, that is a really long name. But yes, I already got this car, which was obviously the very first one that you could acquire in the, let's say, when the Chrome Marauder just began. But after that, there was also the McLaren 765 LT. Yes, 765 LT Spider. There you go. You can see that this is a car that I also acquired, which was the refresh of the event. The second car featured over there, and well, there it is. Now, in the last video, I did talk about what was the newest car added in Chrome Marauder, which is the Tomato P900. And I am happy to tell you that I am also going to acquire this car. That's right, baby. I'm gonna acquire it. Let's go. But all right, it is a bit of a topic. First things first. You will notice that for all of the parts, most of the parts, I only got one of each one of them because hey, you only need one. But the ones that are randomized, just look at how many I got. Part 7, I got 5 of them. And for part 9, I got 4. The last piece that I was missing was part 8, and man, I had to do so many races in order to do this, so many that I got 4 repeats of part 7 and 3 repeats of part 9. It's ridiculous. So yeah, it was a bit of a struggle in order to get this, but eventually I did, and thanks to that, the car is now mine. Let's go, baby! Now, I did say before, this is actually a car that I did want to acquire in this event, because even if it's not a king or anything I hear that is not particularly amazing, I don't really care about that. I care that the car looks pretty cool. I really like this car, so yes, it is in my collection now, and I'm very happy about that. Which means that in the 3 main cars of the entire Chrome Marauder this time around, I got all 3 of them. So I went 3 for 3. So you might be thinking, wow, DBT has amazing luck, and oh my god, and wow, not really. I have not been shy to tell you, to show you that I've been going the pay-to-win route. Now, the vouchers that I have, I've mentioned this before, are vouchers that I've got for being a content creator. So it's not necessarily that I've been spending money, but I'm not gonna say, oh, I've been free to play, because really, I don't want people to have the wrong impression that all of this progress that I did on the event was free to play. It is not. I'm gonna show you a screenshot of a previous video here in the channel. This was when I did the pro test of the Zenvo ST1, and the reason I'm showing you this is so that you can see the amount of vouchers that I have in that video. That video was recorded before the Chrome Marauder event started, and you see that I had 3,200 approximately. Well, coming back to the game, look at how many vouchers I have currently. 2,300. That means that I spent about 900 tokens in the entire thing in order to get these cars. That is not cheap. Just so that you have an idea, about 800 vouchers, or really 800 vouchers, cost about $100 US. Obviously, this is showing in my local currency, but still should give you an idea. If you want more, well, you gotta pay a whole bunch more. So, like I was saying, this was not exactly the pay-to-win, the free-to-play experience that people will have. Now, I'm gonna continue talking about the Chrome Marauder, but how about we get into some races? And what better car to use than my newly acquired, the Tomato P900. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, I just acquired a car, so it's not like... where is it? There we go. It's not like I can... oh, look at the size of these cars, by the way. Jesus Christ. One of these two is wrong. Look at this, the difference on the size on these 2 cars. They're the same cars, just with a body kit. But just look at the wheel size, and that's how you can tell how badly scaled one of these 2 cars are. I don't know which one is correct and which one is wrong, but this is absurd. But anyway, the Tomato P900, it's at stock So I don't imagine it's gonna perform great. But you know what I can do? I can use an ultimate upgrade. What? Did you just use it? Yes, I did. This is not a car that I'm gonna be MP tuning. Could I have done that? Yes, but I didn't want to. I really just want to drive this car and test it out. Let me do some boosters. And just for the record, I'm gonna be playing Master Season because I'm not even anywhere close to being the correct league in order to play in Classic. So there's that. Ooh, and for my very first race ever with this car, it is in Orbital Loop. Love to see it. Let's see how we do over here. I should have brought the car in a different color. I don't dislike it in this color by any means. Oh, Jesus Christ. But, others STV, that's one of the rumors. Nice. I don't dislike this color, but I think it looks way better in the yellow one. But either way, it's fine. So yeah, this is my very first time driving this thing, so... Oh, come to think about it, I may have driven this thing if there was a free trial for it when the car was originally featured in Threshold Rush, if they did a cup for it. So this may not be my very first time I drive it, but it's my very first race once I have officially unlocked it, so that's kind of neat. Here it is. Oh, what a peculiar looking car, I tell you. Like I said, I don't really care that this car is not a king or anything like that. I just wanted it because I always thought that it's a very cool looking car. Like I said, it's the Tomato P72, but racing version. So yes, you know that I like racing cars or race cars, so what's not for me to appreciate about this one? And I shouldn't have done those flat spins, but okay, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, there it is, the Tomato P900. Oh, what a peculiar looking car. And yes, I'm gonna change the color because that let's do that, you know? Alright. Okay, should probably show what beat me. It was the Lycan Hypersport Halloween Edition and the DSC-10's 11th anniversary. So yeah. And just for the record, this is not a pro test of the car. This is me just driving it a little bit. But really, the topic, it's the Chrome Marauder event because, oh boy, I have some thoughts on it. Overall, my experience with the Chrome Marauder was one that was very frustrating. Like I said, this entire progression or all of the stuff that I got in the event was not the free-to-play route. So I can only imagine just how much pain that would be if you're a free-to-play player and, you know, just trying to make progress and unlock the main cars over there. However, in saying that, oh Jesus Christ, that is not to say that the entirety of the event is bad. Because the reality is that while I personally was just focusing on the main cars because all of the other cars featured in the event I already own, I saw a bunch of people being happy about like, hey, I was able to unlock my Enzo Ferrari. Hey, I was able to unlock the Dart. Oh Jesus, why did I come on this side? The Dart X Edition or whatever it's called, you know, things like that. So there has been definitely, or there are other things to focus on this event other than the main car. And this is one of those things where it depends on how you look at it as to whether or not you think this was a good event or not. Because if you're like me and you were only going for the main car and you did not manage to unlock the main car, you're gonna be like, wow, this event was absolute garbage. But if you're not aiming for that and you actually got the other cars, maybe you're thinking, hey, that wasn't too bad, I got some free cars. So as usual, as it tends to be with a lot of events in this game, it is very subjective on whether or not people are going to say that it's a good event, a bad event, a mid event, a terrible event, and anything in between. Because like I said, it really depends on what you got, what you were focusing, your own state or your current state of your garage. Because again, if you're the type of player who already has all of these other cars, then none seems useful to you in this event. You're like, oh my god, all I wanted was a Quaira R and I did not get it. I didn't care for anything else. What did I care about an Agera? Agera R, I think is the one that was in the previous refresh that you could get in the tower. Like, what do I care about that? I've had that since 8 years ago. Well, yes, that is for you. But for a newer player who has been playing this game, I don't know, for 2 years or maybe just 1 year, whatever it is, and they actually managed to unlock for free the Agera from the tower, that is actually a really cool thing. And I've seen people in this being like, oh wow, I actually unlocked this car and I didn't have to spend anything in upgrading because it's an ultimate. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. So you see what I'm saying? It is a very difficult thing to say objectively whether or not an event is good or bad because it's extremely subjective, the experience that each player will have. It really all depends in your own progress in the game and your targets or objectives in the event itself. I got a first place, Robert! Beautiful. All right, first place with this car finally, so I'll take it. Faraday, Cyan, Tuatara, Jesco Absolute. Okay, it was not fully boosted, but I'm gonna say that I beat a Jesco Absolute. That makes me happy. Ooh, Ooh, shoutouts to Gold Pikachu, a proper flag bearer, and wearing also the DBT hoodie. Very nice. If you don't know, if you have the Vroom's name in your, the Vroom's part in your in-game name, you also get a special role in my Discord server, the House of Vrooms. Link is in the description. You get a fancy color for carrying the Vroom's flag in your name. But anyway, so on me saying this whole thing about the event and whatnot, and some people got some good stuff and blah, 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 that is not me straight up defending the event, because like I said, the event has some things that are exceedingly annoying, and I understand that that is the design of the event, but I feel like they did go a little bit overboard with the randomness this time around in the event. Did I knock him down? No, I don't think it was me. I think he just crashed. There are some things that are definitely very annoying, and I want to talk a little bit about that, because like I said, I already shown you how many vouchers I ended up spending, and again, that is even as a full pay to win still having to struggle for this, and it's a bit of a really strange thing how this event works, in how there are so many layers of RNG, and the worst part, what I consider the worst part about the RNG layering in this event is the fact that there's no, let's say, I think they call it pity system, and I know that sounds pitiful, but legit, it is a thing that exists in games that rely heavily on RNG. But all right, I got a not fantastic result, but again, remember, this is not a protest. I'm not like hyper trying to focus on these races or anything. Just wanted to drive the car a little bit, because why not? But no, I shall make a proper protest of this car eventually. But later, because I don't want to make two videos, one after the other about the same car and whatnot, but you get the idea, right? But no, let's continue talking about this event. So first, let's talk a little bit about what I think was a good change in this event. Even though in a way it is annoying, I do believe that overall it's an improvement to previous events that we had seen before, specifically talking about the Marauder Tower, which I did mention in my first overview of this event, of this version of the event, which was very similar to the Christmas tree on that whatever event. But the problem in the Christmas tree event is the fact that once you spend your whatever stars was back then, Star Hunt, is that what it was? Yeah, whatever. Once you would spend the currency, you would get a random reward over here, hoping that you land in the reward that would get you to the next stage, or the next tier, I suppose, so that you can keep on climbing. The problem in that is that the rewards, you know, there was no elimination of the rewards, so you could end up in the worst reward over and over and over and over and over, and just spend all of your currency in getting in the same thing. So in that sense, this is an improvement, because over here there is a limited stock. So once you landed over here, this reward is no longer available. Once you landed twice in this thing, it's no longer available. So eventually, by virtue of elimination, you're gonna land in the one that you want and reach the next one. And the next one does have a bunch more stock and whatnot, but it has less rewards. So that means that eventually you're also gonna get over here without spending way too long on here. Same thing over here. Now, already in the previous video, I showed you the struggles on clearing this whole thing, but eventually I did it, and that is nice. So that is what I see as a bit of an advantage or an improvement on how this whole thing works, in that it allows you in a guaranteed fashion to get these rewards. Now, this one, the ones at the top, are, as I mentioned in the previous video, completely random. And if you don't land, let's say that you wanted to land on this thing and you didn't land here, like in my case, I landed here, it reset the entire thing and you have to climb again. So it is a bit annoying. But in a sense, this part right here, I think this is nice. Now, another thing that changed was the black market, because now we have this whole system where it has different slots. And by the way, what's up with this? I can buy one direct upgrade of Class D for 2,500 microwaves, or I can buy 5 for 2,000. Yeah, I think we see which one is better. I'm gonna buy them because those things are useful anyway. But yeah, so in the way that this one is set up, I also kind of like it, just because it again, it allows you to get more of these relics, and it even tells you like, oh, here's all the stuff that is available depending on which version of the shop you got, and the refreshes and all of that stuff. So I did find this one somewhat useful as well, because it does provide a bunch of these things that I appreciate. The part obviously where this thing breaks into being a complete RNG mess is the famous fixer bar, where you're gonna be doing the races against the AI, the boss, quote unquote. Now, every day you get, when the day resets, you get 3 tickets for the, what is this one called? Vanguard gig. Now, the thing about the Vanguard gig is that the objective over here obviously is getting a little bit of microwaves and whatever else that you can get, right? But really the main objective is getting this thing, getting the gold tickets so that you have access to the Leviathan gig where you're gonna be finding, hopefully, the relics that you are missing. So that is nice. And one thing that I should probably mention is that I do appreciate that the way that this event is set up is that even though you can get any of the relics, and I did get once at 6, which has a drop chance of 0.51, but whatever. The main ones that you're gonna be getting are the ones that you're gonna be missing. So it's not like all of these have the same drop chance and you're gonna be getting a bunch of repeats of all of the other ones. No, really the main ones are gonna be these 3. So I appreciate the way that it's set up so that you can get some of the parts that you need here, the other bunch of parts over here, and the rest of the parts over here. So they all complement each other to eventually for you to get the car. Now, the part where I do have a little bit of a problem, or quite a bit of a problem, is, like I said, that there's no pity system in here. Like I said, you get three tickets over here. Just for the fun of it, let's do a race against this thing because, hey, I have some tickets, so I might as well use them. And I'm gonna do it with the tomato because why not? Now, the drop chance for the golden tickets is of 25%. So in theory, just based on probability, 1 out of 4 races should give you a ticket for the Leviathan gig, the golden ticket, right? And that doesn't sound like bad odds, but then again, let's remember that you only get 3 tickets for, let's call it for free. You only get 3 tickets a day. Now, granted, you can get more tickets by spending some tokens, I believe, and whatnot. You can do that, and obviously the game incentivizes you to do that. Makes sense. Well, actually, this time I'm gonna get a gold ticket. Wow, way to shut me off. I just realized that the reward for this race is gonna be a gold ticket, but Jesus Christ. But where I'm going with this is that I wish it had a system, because, while, again, just by randomness, by RNG, by probability, statistics, or whatever you want to look at it, you should be getting 1 ticket every 4 races. And it could happen. And also because, again, randomness, you could easily... What is this guy doing? You could easily end up doing 3 races, and all 3 races in a row are going to have a gold ticket for you. And I hit him like that. Ah, oh, come on. Oh, man. Come on, I can catch up to him. So it could happen, but where I'm going with this is that I hope that it had a bit of a system where it guarantees that, let's say that if in 5 tickets you have not gotten a golden one, it will still guarantee giving you one. Now, I'm not 100% if such system exists already in the game, but it certainly doesn't look like it. Or if it does exist, it's really like not every 5 races, maybe every 20 races you will get a guaranteed gold ticket. Now, like I said, the chances for you to get the golden ticket are not super low. But the fact that every day you might be spending your 3 tickets, and if you're a player that doesn't have a bunch of tokens to spend in this whole thing, you might end up just doing 3 races a day in this thing, and you don't get your gold ticket. You're gonna feel like, wow, this is terrible. I'm not making any progress in this thing at all. I'm not even getting the tickets to get into the Leviathan gig. How am I gonna get more microwaves, or even better, the parts that I need, right? Because let's not forget that as much as I'm saying that I like how this whole thing it's spread in these 3 areas, all 3 of these areas require you to have a bunch of microwaves, aka wreckage. So you're gonna spend a lot of wreckage. In the example that I did on the last video on this topic, I spent about 8,000 in order to get finally to the last stage. Though to be fair, it was mainly about getting these 3 parts. About 9,000 wreckage over there. Then I don't know how much more wreckage I had to spend over here, considering that this cost 3,500. Let's say that 3 of these are gonna be what? 10,500 plus 6,000 of the part number 10. That is another 16,000 approximately wreckage that you have to spend over there. It's a lot of wreckage that you need to be using. And you need to get the wreckage. Yeah, you can get a tiny bit from here, but really the payouts are in this race, in the Leviathan race. And the payouts are pretty decent, but it's so rare for you to get these tickets that it becomes really annoying. So if the game guaranteed that if you don't have good luck and you are not getting the gold tickets, if after 5 races you did not get a single gold ticket, well, there you go. You get 1 guaranteed for the next race, and it resets again your RNG and the counter and all that stuff, right? I could see how that could work. And like I said, many games that rely heavily on RNG elements tend to have systems like this, which are... Is the dude down there? Yes, he is. Dude, can you please start doing something? Oh, I hate this guy so much because of that. Double hit, yeah. So I wish I had that. But on top of that, once you get into the gold tickets and you start with your gold tickets, man, again, getting the parts that you want is gonna be such a pain in the rear side. Because let's remember that each one of those parts have like a under 5% chance of dropping. Now, under 5% means, let's leave it at 5%. It means that 1 in 20 races will give you the part that you want. 1 in 20 races. That means it's so, Jesus Christ. So many races that you have to do. And it's 3 parts that you need from this whole thing. Now, I'm not saying that they should guarantee getting this, because obviously at the end of the day, the entire point of this event and making it to be RNG is for people to spend their currencies, which they succeeded on me doing. Like I showed you, I spent a lot of vouchers. But I wish that it had a slight protections to the players, so that once again, if you have done a bunch of races and you still haven't got a single relic, well, you know, after so many races, you're gonna get one of these relics guaranteed. It's still gonna be random which one you get, but at least you're not gonna be subject to double RNG. Because let's think about it this way: you're subject to the RNG as to whether or not this guy is gonna drop a relic. That is the first layer of RNG. And then the second layer of RNG is as to whether or not the relic that he's gonna drop is the relic that you need. It's so much RNG, that's what I'm saying. This is why this became so annoying, because like I showed you, I got so many repeats of certain things, and I spent of certain relics, I should say, and I spent so many vouchers in getting the golden tickets, because the golden tickets that I was acquiring naturally were not enough. And that's what I'm saying. It's RNG layer after RNG layer after RNG layer, and that is the part that bothers me about this event. So much RNG. And I understand Gameloft is obviously not gonna be very happy to just be giving cards for free to everybody. But at the end of the day, I do feel like this was way too difficult. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, I understand that some people have been able to complete this whole thing in a free-to-play fashion. And congratulations for you guys. I'm really happy that you were able to. But I do believe that the vast majority of people were not able to do this. So yeah, I feel like they went a little bit too crazy with the difficulty on this event compared to the first one. Now, to be fair, I do believe the first one was a bit too easy. This one is a bit too hard. So I think Gameloft just needs to find a middle point of, you know, like, hey, yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but it's not gonna be almost impossible. Not almost impossible, you know, as difficult as this one proved to be. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Just to close it up, just to give you my quick version of the thoughts. The event, again, very subjective depending from which side you're judging it. What were your objectives? Maybe you got some stuff over here, maybe you did not get the main cars, maybe you had to spend a bunch of money, a bunch of vouchers. The experience is very, very mixed. For me personally, even though I'm pay to win, and especially because I was aiming for the better car, the best cars in the event and whatnot, the experience was very frustrating because, and I know that this is kind of controversial because some people really hate pay-to-win players, but the reality is that pay-to-win players are necessary for the economy of the game, for the game to keep on running. So, kind of makes sense. But I do believe that even the experience for the pay-to-win player is kind of annoying, but well, I don't know. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this whole thing. Why don't you let me know in the comments what you thought? In fact, let's make it into the key phrase, which is going to be for today. Another Chrome Marauder event ends. Overall, I did not like this event. Obviously, you don't need to put both of them. Just either you did enjoy it or you did not enjoy it. I would just want to have an idea of how many people enjoyed the event. Once again, I just want you to think about it in the general thing, not exclusively focusing on the main big car, but everything else that you got, whether that is direct upgrades, parts, couple of free cars here and there. I'm just curious to hear what you guys think. But that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.